I'm kind of crazy, but I'm not that crazy.
Jen motherfucking Dent, president, Jen motherfucking Dent, president, Jen motherfucking Dent, president, Jen motherfucking Dent, president.
Hello Poppets, how's everybody doing today? I hope you're doing well. Please follow me on Twitter at Jen to the Den, and also you can find me on Facebook. I have a lot of friends on Facebook, but just be warned, I post a lot. I am an internet-aholic. I am a social media-holic. Been this way since about 1996. Back before social media was really a thing, so I don't think I'm gonna change anytime soon. I don't care if I'm working, not working, I don't care what I'm doing. I'm pretty much checking my social media. It is a problem. I'm okay with that. I had asked several months ago what kind of videos people would like me to do, and one of the things that people mentioned they would like me to talk about is whether or not I have had any paranormal experiences, and actually I have, so this may be a kind of short video, but I will tell you what I have experienced. I talked to a medium several years ago. I wanted to try it out. I thought it would be neat. And I'm glad I did. With that being said, before I talk to the medium, I'm very lucky. I haven't really lost that many people in my life that I was very close to. And at that time, not even my grandmother had passed away yet. So I knew that when I talked to him that I would not be contacting anyone who had passed away. But I also knew that when you speak to a medium, if there are people in your life that you're close to who have lost someone, then the person that they lost who has passed away may see you as a doorway to be able to speak to their loved one. So I knew that going into it, and that's exactly what happened. Prior to me contacting the medium, I had a friend whose son had passed away in a car accident. And to this day, she hasn't gotten over it, which no one should expect her to. That's a terrible thing that I don't wish upon anyone. But it was very new. It had happened very recently before I had this session with the medium. Also, another thing that is very important to remember is that even though I hadn't lost a person that I was very close to in life, I had lost a dog, and that may sound crazy to a lot of people. If you don't love animals and if you've never had a pet that you were really that close to, then I don't expect you to understand, but it's not just a pet, it's not just a dog. This dog was very special to me, and she passed away very suddenly. Her name was Montana. She was my very first dog I ever had, and she was a German Shepherd, and I've had 3 German Shepherds in total. She was my first one. She passed away very suddenly at 4 years old, and it devastated me. It took me forever to get over that. So when I contacted the medium, in a way I was kind of like, I wish Montana would let me know she's okay, because I never knew what happened to her. I mean, she was playing one minute and she was dead the next. I think it must have been a heart attack or something. Anyway, when I started talking to the medium, you know, he had to go through some things before we started our session, and one of the things that he said was, I can't contact animals. You know, animals can't talk, so there's no way I can do that. And he must have had a lot of people that wanted to know about animals for him to have even mentioned that to me. So while we were having the session, he was talking a lot about a young male. And he kept saying things like, he wants you to know he's okay. He wants you to know he didn't feel anything when it happened. He wants you to know that he's at peace and things like that. And I knew immediately who it was, and that it was my friend's son. And so that was one of the main things that we talked about during the discussion. And during that session, he said a lot of things that kind of made sense, kind of hit close to home. But this is when I knew that he knew what the fuck he was talking about. This is when I remember I was sitting on my bed talking to him, and I almost rolled over and off of the bed, because at the very end of the session he said, oh, and by the way, he wants you to know he likes your dog. And I was like, he was talking about my friend's son, because my friend's son was the main theme in this whole talk. I mean, we talked about things that related to me also, lots of things. I can't say the whole thing was about my friend's son, but a lot of it was about my friend's son. And at the very end, he said, he wants you to know that he likes your dog. And I was like, what dog? And he's like, your new puppy. And I was like, because I had just gotten a new puppy. And there was no way for this dude to know that. So that freaked me out. But the main thing that freaked me out was, he goes, and I don't know if this means anything to you. He said, I can't really see this boy's face. He said, but I mean, I know that he's a young male. I know that, he's a young white male. He said, I see his figure, and I see a large dog with him. He's like, I don't know what kind of dog it is, but I think it's a German Shepherd. And he said, and he just wants you to know that the dog's like really happy and that they get along great. And I was like, oh. Giving me goosebumps just thinking about it now. That was like when I knew. I was like, yeah, this is real. There's no way for that guy to have just the specifics that he was saying. And there's really no way he would have known to tell me that he liked my puppy and that my dog was a German Shepherd and that my dog was okay. That was like the main thing I wanted to know when I contacted him. So there's that. If you're ever thinking about contacting a medium, I can give you the name of the one that I used. I will link that below because he's the real deal. I mean, there's no way for him to have known these things. As far as witnessing paranormal activity in person, I have done that also. I don't want to sound like a whack job, but I mean, I know what I saw. So I went to stay with my friends Greg and Reggie about almost 2 years ago. It's hard to believe, but it was in November of 2015. And they lived in this huge old house in Iowa. I mean, it was humongous. It was like 3 stories. It was just one of those really old houses that just has all the cool nooks and crannies. You know what I'm talking about? It even had a separate staircase because it used to have servants. That type of house. You know the kind of house I'm talking about. And the house was beautiful. I loved it. And of course they had it decorated so amazingly. But one of the things that they collect and decorate one of their rooms with is, it sounds crazy, but I guess unless you see it, you don't know what I'm talking about, or unless you see it, you wouldn't be able to appreciate it. But they originally lived in Petersburg, and Petersburg, Virginia was like the central hub of the Civil War. As a matter of fact, they shot the Daniel Day-Lewis movie Lincoln in downtown Petersburg because that's exactly where all that stuff happened. And so that's where Reggie and Greg used to live. So one of their bedrooms, they decorated it with old slave memorabilia. I know it sounds crazy. It was not gaudy, it was not tacky, it was not disrespectful. It was like old portraits and old medicine bottles and magazines and newspapers and just hymnals and stuff like that. They took all that stuff to Iowa with them. I don't know if it was the combination of the old memorabilia and this old ass house, but it was creepy in that room. And that's the room I had to sleep in, which I didn't have a problem with up until this point. I had flown in from Virginia to Iowa and I had opened up my suitcase, and like the first thing I do when I get somewhere is just like set all my stuff out. Set all my stuff in the bathroom, lay my stuff out so that it's not wrinkly and all that stuff. And I had opened up my suitcase and I had like propped the lid open and all my stuff was in my suitcase. And my husband and I had been separated in June of 2015. And this was in November of 2015, and we were reconciling and trying to get back together, which if you know anything about me, you know that now we're divorced. Anyway, when I went to Iowa, he had secretly put a note in my suitcase that said, "I love you." And I didn't see it until I got to Iowa and started unpacking all my stuff. I really appreciated that he put that in my suitcase, and it meant a lot to me, and it touched me. I don't want to make that impression that I was not happy about the note. But with that being said, I was just trying to be there, enjoy myself, have a good time, not be pressured because we had been separated for like almost 6 months. And I didn't, I don't know. I saw the note, I was happy about it, but then I covered it with my clothes because it was making me feel weird. I don't know how to explain it. I covered it with some clothes, and so I went about my business, went downstairs, was doing stuff, and I decided I'm gonna go and I'm gonna take a hot bath because I had been up since like 2 in the morning flying and all of that stuff. So I went into the room where I was staying and I got out the stuff that I was going to change into when I got done with my bath. And all my stuff was in my suitcase. That note was under stuff. I went and I took a bath. Now this is when it gets crazy. And I know this sounds crazy. But while I was in the bathtub, I remember just feeling like, I mean, am I like super tired or what is going on with me? Because I was in the bathtub and I remember I just felt like I was like in this haze, in this fog. Like I felt like I was in some sort of like trance. It was the weirdest thing. I remember that I just sat there forever thinking, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to hang out with these guys tonight because I feel really weird and really, really tired. I can't explain to you. It was like I was looking down the barrel of like a telescope. Everything was, it was like telescope vision, and I just felt really weird sitting there in the bathtub. I don't think I've ever felt like that. Anyway, I finished taking my bath, I got out, dried off, put on my clothes, went into the bedroom, and that is when I saw that my suitcase had been rifled through. Not only had my suitcase been rifled through or gone through or whatever you want to use the word. The note from my husband was sitting on top. My clothes were like pushed aside and there was that note. And then I had this lacy kind of top that went over top of like a camisole. Is that even the word? I don't even know. Anyway, there was a shirt I had that was mainly made out of lace. That shirt was taken out of my suitcase and set out on this old chair. It was like an old velvet wingback chair that they had. And it was just sitting there. So like I called down to Reggie and Greg and I'm like, did y'all come up here and go through my things? And they were like, I mean, why would we do that? So I called them upstairs and I'm like, look at all of this. And they were just like, immediately I could just tell. And they looked at each other. And like the way that they looked at each other, I could tell that there was like some sort of inside thing that I wasn't in on. Greg just started like flipping all the lights on, like in the room, in the closet, in the hallway. Reggie goes and he gets this huge shell and this feather and this huge bunch of white sage. And he lights the sage on fire and he's just like fanning the smoke around the room. And I'm like, what is going on? And they're like, yeah, the last few people that have stayed in this room, they have said that like the closet opens and closes by itself and that they've seen weird things in here. And so we're pretty sure we have a ghost in here. And I'm just like, that would have been some good information to have told me before this shit happened. Cause now I'm fucking scared to death. And I want to say like, I'm not really scared of ghosts and things like that because I don't think they want to hurt you. I think they just want to be heard or they just want to be noticed. But it was still pretty creepy. And that night I had the hardest time falling asleep. I remember I laid there with the lights on because I was just terrified. I did not want to close my eyes. I did not want to go to sleep. This is another weird part. This is the last part of the story. But oh my God. I remember that I'm just laying there and I'm like trying not to fall asleep. You know how it is when you want to close your eyes so bad and you want to go to sleep. But you're petrified. You're terrified. And I just remember I was like laying there and I'm like trying to keep my eyes open and I finally shut my eyes. And I don't know how long I laid there with my eyes shut. But all of a sudden it's like I was laying there and I remembered, oh, you're supposed to have your eyes open. This is the weird part. Weirder part, right? So I'm laying there with my eyes closed and like I said, I remembered, oh, you're supposed to have your eyes open. And when I opened my eyes, I'm not lying to you. I know this sounds insane. I'm sorry. But I swear to you, what I saw was like a bunch of tiny little sperm. I don't know how else to explain them. I know they weren't sperm. But when I opened my eyes, I saw thousands of things that looked like sperm. But they were clear. And they were swimming around the room. And as soon as I opened my eyes, I mean, they were all over. Like they covered the whole ceiling. But as soon as I opened my eyes, it was like they noticed me. And they all swarmed out and went out the door. No shit. I mean, I'm not crazy. I'm kind of crazy, but I'm not that crazy. I don't know what that was, and I've meant to research that all this time. So if anybody knows what some sperm in the air might have been, could you let me know? Because I'm still kind of creeped out thinking about it. I hope I can sleep tonight. I'm in my own house, so I should be fine. But whatever, if you heard any of this story and you see this as an invitation to come and bug me tonight, please don't do it. Thanks. Anyway, guys, that was my story for the day. If you have any crazy, spooky, paranormal stories, leave them below. I'd love to read them so I can get freaked out and not want to go to sleep at night. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And if you have, thank you so much. If you are subscribed, please click the little bell so that it alerts you to watch my videos every time I put one up. Please follow me on Twitter, Facebook, whatever. You can find me. And I hope you come back next time. I do videos every Tuesday and Saturday, so I will see you then. Everybody have a great day. Bye!